Good afternoon. This is take two of the monologue. I was originally doing a monologue. We got a phone call that we had to take, and so I played a video, and here I am back again with my all unglorious self, I guess. Anyway, so I'm going to repeat a little bit of what I was saying before, because we do have a little more information on it now. What I was talking about is been kind of a busy day. I've been working on the server quite a bit, trying to work out a few bugs that I still have in the back end of it. Little things, not a big deal. If you go to transformingdisabilities.com, right now it even takes you to a stock blank page for the script that I use. Just because I got to build the site. The thing is I'm going to be completely rebuilding once again all three websites. We did have four, now we're down to three. We dropped Heaven's Nectar Vapes because if the regulations go in, then guess what? There's no need in having a vaping website when you can't sell vaping supplies. So anyway, so we've got three websites. I'll have to rebuild all three of them. Not really a have to, but you know, it's more of a want to. I like things to be fresh and clean. I could get the old sites up on the new place, but I like things to be fresh and clean. So here's the thing. Here's the deal. The phone call we got was from the local internet company, and so everything looks like it's green light. It's good to go. I think if everything goes smoothly, Jen will be picking up we're going to rent a router from them and whatnot. Jen will be picking that stuff up Tuesday. So it looks like Tuesday at some point will be switched over from the one internet to the next internet. Now, at that time, I will, well, the switch is already flipped for Transforming Disabilities, but then at that time, I will probably go ahead and flip the switch for Disabled by Design. Go ahead and get the base script up for that. And what I will do is we have until the end of, I want to say the 7th month, July. I think we've got till the end of July for our web hosting package on the Watchman News, which hosts all of them, by the way. And I will leave that run until I am completed with a new Watchman News website. So when that website is done, completed, satisfactory by my standards, then what I will do is I will literally flip the DNS switch, so to speak, over to the server that's sitting right here in front of me. What I was explaining earlier is this will allow me to be able to host all of our archive stuff, all of our old content that I won't put out there in public on YouTube, mainly because of petty reasons. Right, I talked to Prepper Nurse 1 on the phone today. I was explaining some of this to him, and I said, you know, the bad thing with what we do is after a live broadcast, it always goes back to unlisted. Now, if you've got the link to watch that show, you can watch that show again. If you've got the link, it's unlisted. It's not private. It's not deleted. It's there. It's just not in my list. And I do that for two reasons. For one, out of respect, because I don't want to profit off of other people's material. And number two, I don't want somebody to get a stick up their butt because they didn't like something I said, come back and hit us with a strike. And next thing you know, we can't do live broadcasting on YouTube because somebody's got an issue with ego and pride. So the thing of it is, I just mark them unlisted. Well, I've tried several different methods to be able to get them, the archives up. And what looked to be the best at the time was DTube. But sometimes you can spend all day on DTube trying to upload a video and never succeed. They've got a lot of bugs still in their system yet. So, I didn't have a very good way. We're talking about large video files. I know, you can sit there and throw out a dozen different video hosting platforms, but they won't allow me to store the size of files and the amount of space that I need for those files. Most all of them have limits. So by hosting my own server, guess what? The only limit is the limit I set. Also, being able to put up a a show to an archive literally consists of me dropping a file into a different drive and setting it up. That's it. I mean, a matter of moments. In fact, some of the scripts out there, all I got to do is drag and drop the file. The script itself will automatically configure it. So anyway, big changes, good changes. I talked to Jen about it. I am also, back when we rented the dedicated server that was like insanely expensive. See, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'll be running a dedicated server, but it's just in my home. I'm not paying almost $120 a month for it somewhere else. What I'm also going to start doing is I'm going to offer hosting packages for people, because we'll be able to host other people's content and be able to do so relatively cheap. And I mean, when there's just a handful of websites on a box, guess what? Your website's going to run real smooth and real fast. So that's kind of the intent with that. So big changes, big positive changes. I do have some other stuff to add before I get into the finances and the news and all that good stuff. Today we got the tubing in for the sight glasses for the water filter. Tomorrow we should be getting the step drill in, even though that was supposed to come in today. It's been marked with the infamous in transit from USPS, which means we don't know where the hell it is, but we'll get it to you. And so we still got to order the buckets yet. That's coming up. We'll be able to order those probably on like the 22nd. We'll be able to order the buckets. It's not that they're super expensive, but when you don't have the extra cash laying there, you can't do it. So we'll be ordering those probably on the 22nd. Of course, the filters themselves are here. The spigot's here. The elbows that I needed's here. The adhesive that I needed for HDPE plastics is here. And we got everything but the buckets and the step drill. Waiting for that. Should be here tomorrow. The panel, the other solar panel, should be here tomorrow, I'm thinking. If not, it'll be here Saturday. So that's a rundown on what we're looking at as far as the projects that are going on here. And let me go ahead and bring up the screen here, and I'll just do a quick run through. YouTube, we're setting at 3111, so it actually moved up from yesterday. Wow, a big whole lot. Oh yeah, that reminds me. So I was talking to a prepper nurse, and he uses a site called Social Blade, right? So I didn't know you could look up anybody's stats on this, but you can look up anybody's stats on this. So I'm going to plug in the Watchman News. And we're going to check out our YouTube. Check this out right here. Apply for a YouTube partnership. No, thank you. Right here. We get a C grade, right? We're C. We're a bunch of slackers. We make, in a month, we make an estimated 58 cents to $9 in a month. We're rich, yo. We are absolutely rich. I just, I can't believe it. Now let's just out of curiosity, right? Well, let me see what it says. I didn't click on the Twitter one. Wow, yeah, I'm way down there. I'm at least I'm under 4.5 million in rank. That's good, right? So let me put in. I'm gonna go with YouTube, and I'm gonna put in CNN, Communist News Network. Look at this. Look at this. Off of YouTube, they make an estimated 31.9 thousand to 510.8 thousand a month. A month. Okay? Their estimated yearly earnings are 383.1 thousand to 6.1 million a year. Okay? But yet we can't keep videos monetized. Right? Now, how do you suppose they're making money off of their content if none of their content is advertiser friendly because they're telling the news? Because I assume that's why much of our content isn't advertiser friendly, because we tell the news, right? Same thing. So what's the difference? Oh, that's right. That's right. What makes the difference is who owns YouTube and who owns CNN. Interesting. Thought I'd throw that out there. So anyway, that's where we're at on YouTube. Steam It. What's up with Steam It over here? Let me do a refresh here. Apparently didn't load in very well. Their images were having problems earlier, I noticed. I guess they still are. Let's see. We have the just a couple that were there, the 12 and the 8. And, of course, nothing in the wallet because I haven't put nothing in the wallet. Although there's 0.002. Oh, yeah, somebody did, but not me. You got to watch these. There are a lot of people that will want you to, like, do all kinds of crazy stuff for 0.001 Steam. You got to watch that and be careful. I don't know what's legit and what's not, so I don't do anything. Sounds like a safe method to use. AdSense. No website visits today, or I should say no ad clicks today on the websites. Yesterday, I guess there was one at some point because I'm showing 19 cents from yesterday, even though I hadn't seen that at all anywhere. So don't know what the deal is there. But of course, the balance is still the same. That is the balance we're looking at to hopefully receive on the 22nd. They'll send it out the 21st. This will be able to pay back the money borrowed for the bike trailer for Blue. And we'll also be able to get the buckets we need. And will help us grab a few other things that we are in desperate need of. So, and then whatever's, I am going to use some of this to get the rest of the stuff to show the emergency water filter. Evil brought some activated carbon, so that's out of the way. So I just need to pick up some sand and some, I'm going to get some like aquarium rock or something. I'm going to do it up now. I'm going to make it look nice, even though it's going to be out of a soda bottle or something. It's going to be done nice. I want people to be able to see and understand fully what it is I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Because I want them to be able to reproduce what I do safely, okay? My intent is to hopefully save lives with this. You know, when somebody winds up in an emergency situation in which they need good, clean water to drink, then, you know, I want to give it a shot at being able to provide something in people's memory as to how to do that. You know what? So anyway, that's kind of what's going on there with the finances. Let me read up through the headlines and then going to have a little talk with you about what's going on here. EU to ensure presence of companies in Iran despite U.S. JCPOA withdrawal, says Macron. Russia never violated INF treaty, firmly complies with it, says the Kremlin. North Korea won't hold talks with South unless issues resolved. See that? I'm telling you. Israeli Iron Dome air defenses fires north following alert on Syrian border. Pardon me. Ria Novosti, Ukraine head Vyshinsky arrested for 2 months. Putin and Assad hold extensive talks in Sochi, says the Kremlin. China becomes spoiled on trade. Trade deal unlikely to happen. U.S. and that was said by Trump, by the way. U.S. Senate overlooks torture, confirms bloody Gina Haspel as CIA director. You know, I'm just having a real hard problem with this whole draining the swamp thing, right? Because when you drain the swamp, you know, you drain it. I'm assuming you drain the swamp to get rid of the predators, to get rid of the alligators, right? That's why you're doing it, to get rid of the gators, get rid of the threats, right? So why in the hell would you drain the swamp and refill it with like Loch Ness monsters, for instance? I mean, you know, why would you? Why would you remove a nest of sweat bees and replace it with a nest of hornets? You get where I'm going with this? I'm not buying it. And I know there's little things going back and forth with stuff. I know the whole, oh, this might be it for Hillary is back going around. I'll tell you what, I believe that Hillary's going to jail when that bitch is behind bars. Right? Until then, I don't even want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. Quickest way to get me to ignore you, mention her name. Mention her name. Or tag me in Facebook posts with her name involved in it. That'll get, I'll tell you what, much more of that will lead to blocks. Okay? Because it ain't gonna happen. And if it does, I will come back on air and I will profusely apologize. I will. You've got my word on that. I will profusely apologize. Right? But by playing into their little distraction game, no matter where you sit on the fence about it, you lost. Because that was the intent, was distraction. So all that time you spent, right, was time that you could have spent doing something useful. Like learning something. Like doing something. To help prepare yourself. Which is kind of where I'm wanting to go. Because, folks, it doesn't matter if she's behind bars. When those lights go out, it ain't gonna matter. But you see, the club that's most likely to turn out those lights is the same club that Hillary's in. And whether you want to hear it or not, the same damn club that Trump's in, that McCain's in, that the Bushes are in, that the Rothschilds are in, that Soros is in, that the Koch brothers are in, same frickin' club. They only make you think that there are different clubs. Because if you think there are two different clubs, you will pick one. And as long as you pick one, they have you where they want you. See, that's probably what makes me the biggest threat. I don't fall for bullshit. I just don't. I don't run to take up a side with what feels warm and fuzzy to me. I think about it. And I try to do so with little to no emotion involved. Why in the hell would I want emotion to cloud my thoughts? Take a look at my relationship history. Do you think that's a good idea? I certainly don't. I should have walked away from most of them faster than I walked up. That's why it's important. Folks, that's something that I don't think a lot of people think about, right? You know, a lot of the people that get all emotionally involved in a particular discussion, right? And so their thoughts on how that situation should be handled is often differently than what you would handle it logically. And I think we need to start using that in those instances. Hey, haven't you been married twice before? So how's this whole putting emotion into your decisions, your logical decisions? How's that working for you? That's a good angle. Seriously, I really think that's a good angle to work from. But because it's true, right? So the thing is I want to bring this back to preparedness. I'm being dead serious here. Things are not getting better. And when I look at headlines like I'm seeing today, China becomes spoiled on trade. Trade deal unlikely to happen. And again, that's coming from Trump. That's not coming from others abroad or anything. That's coming from Trump. And I think anybody that kind of had their head out of their butt realized that China's not going to be willing to make any kind of trade deals. We owe China so much money, it's unreal. Right? We owe China so much money, it's unreal. And then on top of that, the money that we don't owe them, the money that our citizens owes the government or banking institutions within the government, because that's how we pay for everything is truly with debt. They get all this. Why would they want to make a trade deal with us when they can turn us into a third world nation overnight? The art of the deal, right, Trump? The art of the deal, right? Sometimes you can't make a deal when there is no deal. When there's no deal to be made, you can't make a deal. What's your only way out of it? Well, you're going to have to fight for what you want to be able to keep. And that's where we are as a nation. That's something that it don't matter if Hillary goes to jail 10 times, it's not going to change. If we want any resemblance of even the bullshit freedom that they put out there today, because it is truly a bogus freedom. But no. Anyway, it's a bogus freedom. And, if people are going to want any resemblance of what we do have here, we're going to have to fight for it. And that's a fact. And when I say we, I mean us. Us. Because when it reaches that point, there won't be much of a government left. The government that's supposed to be there to protect us. That's all. Their one job is to protect us from foreign entities. And what are they doing? They're being the worst foreign entity that a country could be. Right? They don't have no money to protect us. They're too busy blowing other people up. Costs a lot of money to blow people up. Not free. You say freedom isn't free. Well, neither is being an empire. So that's just the economy side of things. And I've been saying for a long time that our economy has been hurt so bad. It's unreal. And it is. It's horrible. And there's no way out of that. There is no way at all out of this situation with the economy. They've kicked that can so far down the road, there's not much of a can left. And then we have Putin and Assad holding quote-unquote extensive talks. I have a feeling that there's some wheeling and dealing going on between Assad and Putin, and rightfully so. I would probably be 100% behind it. But it probably involves some S-400 missile systems and possibly even some early deployment of S-500 systems. And I wouldn't doubt that it would involve employment or deployment of many other things, military assets. We have reached a point to where we better quit poking the damn bear. The bear is woken up. The bear is pissed. And the bear is growling. So we either poke that bear one more time because we need to get our hand bit off, so we can blame everything bad on that. Or we cut our losses. Fight for what we have left to fight for. And that's probably the only way I see out of this. Two choices. Going into a World War or worldwide war. Or literally having to fight for what we can keep. Because I guarantee you, if we drop out of the international community, as far as anything to do with finances and trade and all that, I guarantee you that it's going to be a very, very short matter of time before we're invaded. I can assure you of that. Because there is just way too much on the line here. Way, way too much. Not only is there trade, you have to understand that it goes far beyond trade, okay? There's a different type of trade amongst these governments. And some of those are, like with these treasuries and stuff like that these other governments buy into. But the thing of it is, none of that will get dealt with either. What about all the gold? Right? Aren't we supposed to be holding on to a bunch of gold reserves for a bunch of different countries? Hadn't it been not too awful long ago that there were a couple of countries that spoke up and said, you know what? I think we'd like to have our gold back. And the U.S., I know one of them the U.S. gave a bunch of excuses to, and then they finally said, well, that's fine. We'll just take our pennies a year, and we'll just take it back slowly. That's okay. There's an awful lot of countries that we owe gold to. So that's certainly a factor to consider in all of this, because they know what's up. They know that gold has been sold and resold and resold so many damn times in the market, it's unreal. So people can go play their little games with what Q is saying. People can go play games with what Fox News is saying. But ain't none of their bull crap that's coming out of their mouths changing any of the facts that I just laid out to you. And just like I said, whether or not Hillary would be in jail or not doesn't change the facts that I just gave you. So that's why it's important to focus. And I know my focus, although sometimes it doesn't seem very much like focus, I know it drives people nuts. And I get that. I don't care. But there's a reason why I don't care. And it goes back to that logic thing, right? I don't care because I'm an ass. I don't care because I understand the logic behind it. I have to stay focused on the things that have to change in order for the United States or America to be made great again. Okay? These things aren't being changed, folks. These things aren't even being talked about. Has there been a word come out about the repeal of the Patriot Act? Has there been a word come out about the reinstatement of the Smith-Mundt Act? No, there hasn't. In fact, they've doubled down on both of those since Trump took office. Most certainly have. Folks, we've got to stop using our emotions to make decisions as to what's good or what's not. If you've been married and divorced, guess what? You already know you screwed the pooch on that one. And I don't say that to be cruel or mean, but I'm saying it to be effective. I'm saying it to be factual. Because often when we put our emotions into something to make logical decisions, we wind up with the big Operation Cluster. So, we have to look at this stuff logically. And when I look at the whole situation with Q logically, I see somebody out there that's I don't know if they're on a misinformation campaign. I think Q's true purpose, it hasn't been revealed yet. I think right now the part of Q's purpose is to garner a huge following like they've gotten. And I think the big part of the disinformation, the misinformation, will be coming soon. I see what they're doing. Again, take the emotions out of it. Take the ego and pride out of it. Look at it for what it is. Look at how silly society is acting while you've got your head pulled out of your arse. Look at how silly society is acting. Take a look at the tribalism that's going on. Because that's important to see to understand the true mission of Q. It's also important to understand the true mission of having Trump for a president. Also explains why Obama was the last president. A little knowledge in history and looking up on how things were done in Rome, that doesn't hurt either. But folks, do not relax. It's not time to relax. We got a long time before that. So just be prepared. Be prepared. Any way you can. On that note, I will mention once again, and I didn't do all this to mention this, but I will mention once again, Prepper Nurse 1 does have a sale on his site. I'm going to bring up his site right here, preppernurse1.com. And he's got a sale that he put on, a 20% off sale. That's site-wide. That's whether you want the merchandise or whether you want legacy food products. There's the stuff that we make. There's other stuffs here. Merchandise. And then, wow, he's really getting visits on his site, too. That's awesome. But his legacy foods, okay? Everything on the site's 20% off. Everything. So here's the thing. Let me show you what's on the homepage of the site. And I showed this yesterday, I do believe. But if you go to the homepage, there's a couple of packages right up on the homepage, and that's because there's a special deal going out from Legacy right now. This one here, it's a 1,080 serving package. Right now you can get it for $17.99. That thing is originally $23.99. And then same over here, you can get a 240 serving package for $3.99. It's originally $5.65. And I'm going to give you a little secret here. Because of my inability to separate coupons, okay? And this I'm just telling you because I can. Because of my inability in the free shop script that I am using, I cannot separate this deal from the 20% deal. So if you go and you get this deal for one of these two packages, okay, and use the coupon PREP20, you will get 20% off of this already amazing price. So it's not supposed to be that way, but because of my inability to separate the two deals, it is what it is. So that runs until the 31st of this month, and so yeah, just giving you a little heads up there. So you would actually get 20% more off the $3.99 or 20% more off of the $17.99. So to put it lightly, this is the cheapest you're probably ever going to find those. So if you can, it's probably a good idea. And I'm not just trying to plug that like that, but I figured I would give you guys a little bit of the inside scoop, since I know, because I can't separate those in the back end, the two different sales. So anyway, that's what's up there. Preppernurse1.com. Get some legacy food products. I've tried the stroganoff. It's the only one I've had so far. It was like absolutely delicious, and I do hope to try some different ones in the future. But I didn't want to turn this into an infomercial. I figured I would let you I would let you know about it, and it's just one of many ways that we can prepare. So anyway, I'm going to close up the monologue, and we'll go into the normal live show from there. For those that just watched the monologue, I want to thank you, and as always, God bless you. We love you, and